It began like a whisper, one that no one could trace, yet everyone heard. At exactly 2:43 a.m. Beijing time, China's social media erupted. Screens across the country lit up with one haunting phrase. Yu Menglong is gone. At first, people thought it was a hoax, another baseless rumor that would fade by dawn. But this time, the air felt different. The hashtags wouldn't stop trending, and within minutes, millions of reposts appeared. The nation's beloved star, the face that once symbolized calm elegance and timeless beauty, had reportedly fallen from a hotel balcony in Shanghai. But the internet wasn't convinced. Not this time. Not after everything that had already happened. Security footage from the hotel, or at least what the internet claimed to be the hotel, spread like wildfire. A shadow moved near the edge of a terrace. Then, a flash of motion. Then nothing. Officials called it an unfortunate accident, a moment of imbalance, perhaps fatigue. But fans knew the timeline didn't add up. That night, Yu Menglong was supposedly attending a private industry dinner, one closed to the public and curiously missing from every attendee list. No fan photos, no posts, no eyewitnesses. Just silence. Even stranger, one leaked image surfaced showing the actor hours before, his expression distant, his eyes clouded, as though he knew something was coming. Was it exhaustion? Or fear? By sunrise, China's digital streets were in chaos. Every forum, every feed, every group chat screamed the same thing. It wasn't an accident. Someone wanted him gone. At 11:58 p.m., just 3 hours before his fall, Yu Menglong sent a message to one of his closest colleagues. The text was short, only 6 words, but it burned into every corner of the internet once it leaked. If I disappear, don't stay silent. That one line fueled every theory imaginable. What did he mean by disappear? Why not stay silent? One user posted a chilling thread, linking that final message to Yu's past interviews, moments when he hinted about contracts that control too much, and truths people in the industry fear to touch. Soon, the mystery stopped being about what happened that night and became about what Yu Menglong had discovered before it. Within 24 hours, a journalist from Guangzhou claimed to have accessed the hotel's surveillance feed, only to find that 2 hours of footage from the night were gone. Cleanly deleted. Not corrupted. Deleted. And it didn't stop there. The police report contained no timestamp of emergency response. No witness statements. No images of the scene. Just a single page declaring, accidental fall. No foul play suspected. But one hotel worker, who later disappeared from social media altogether, anonymously claimed she saw a black van parked at the back entrance minutes before the ambulance arrived. She said she recognized one of the men inside, someone she'd seen weeks earlier, following the actor at a film studio parking lot. Her final post read, "They told us not to talk. But I still remember his eyes." Then her account vanished. The Chinese internet turned into a battlefield. Fan groups split into 2 armies, those who believed it was a tragic accident, and those who were convinced Yu had been silenced for knowing too much. Conspiracy videos filled Bilibili and Weibo. Some connected his death to a series of past celebrity disappearances, others claimed a secret society within the entertainment industry controlled every image that reached the public. The phrase Project White Lotus began appearing in coded posts, a rumored blacklist for stars who tried to break their contracts or reveal industry secrets. Within days, all posts mentioning White Lotus were scrubbed. Accounts suspended. Entire threads gone. But screenshots survived. They always do. 3 days after his death, an old interview resurfaced. It was from 5 years earlier, a quiet sit-down during a film press tour. The interviewer had asked him, almost jokingly, "If you weren't acting, what would you do instead?" Yu smiled faintly and replied, "I'd probably disappear somewhere quiet, before someone makes me." The clip had been forgotten for years. But now, with the chaos raging online, it hit differently, as though Yu had known his fate long before it arrived. Some fans claimed he was sending coded warnings in his older projects. In one drama, his character repeatedly says, "The truth is written in shadows." In another, he looks directly into the camera in the final scene, a gaze that fans now call the last confession. Despite global attention, no public funeral was ever held. His studio released a short statement asking for privacy. Yet no photos of the burial were ever shown. No relatives were seen leaving the cemetery. Rumors soon suggested that his body was never returned to his family. By the fifth day, hundreds of fans gathered outside the studio headquarters, holding candles, whispering prayers. They demanded answers. Then, just as the crowd began chanting his name, the lights of the building flickered and security descended. Phones were confiscated, live streams cut off. A single message appeared on the studio's Weibo account an hour later. Please let him rest. The truth will come out in time. But that post was deleted within minutes. 1 week later, a mysterious audio file began circulating on Telegram. It was distorted, barely audible, but listeners swore they recognized Yu Menglong's voice. In the clip, a soft male voice says, "They think they've erased everything. But the night remembers. The truth is stored in the dark." Some said it was an AI fake. Others said it was real. No one could prove either. Still, the recording reignited the flames. Memorial pages appeared overnight, flooded with cryptic comments. The night remembers. The truth is stored in the dark. They became the rallying cry of a movement, fans demanding not just justice, but revelation. A journalist from Hong Kong uploaded what she claimed was an internal studio memo, a confidential report detailing a series of containment protocols for a high-risk celebrity case. The memo mentioned a codename, Project Silent Bloom. And under it, a single name, Yu Menglong. According to her post, the memo instructed executives to minimize public disruption, suppress external narratives, and maintain cohesion of emotional response. It was corporate-sounding language, cold, bureaucratic. But its meaning was clear. Someone, somewhere, was managing the story. Hours later, the journalist's post was removed. Her account, suspended. A month later, everything changed. A fan in Thailand posted a blurry photo from a night market in Chiang Mai. It showed a man wearing a hood, half his face hidden, but the resemblance was undeniable. The jawline. The walk. The faint scar near his temple. The internet exploded again. Yu Menglong is alive. Theories spun wildly, that he had faked his death, that he was hiding from the industry, that he was gathering evidence to expose everything. But just like before, the photo vanished. Every repost was deleted. The original account disappeared. It was as if someone had wiped it clean from the web. Now, months later, fans say his Weibo account still updates itself. Random old posts resurface, sometimes with slight edits, words rearranged, sentences altered, new emojis appearing. No one knows who controls it. But at 3:17 a.m. every Sunday, one post keeps reappearing before being deleted minutes later. It simply says, "I'm still here." Was Yu Menglong's death an accident, a tragedy of timing, fatigue, and fame? Or was it something deeper, a silencing, a warning, a message written in deletion? The truth remains tangled in a web of vanished files, missing footage, and unspoken fear. What's certain is this: his name refuses to fade. Even in the digital silence, his presence lingers, in every repost, every whispered theory, every fan who refuses to forget. Somewhere between the light and the algorithm, the story still breathes. And the question that began it all, the one no one can erase, still echoes. Was it an accident, or an assassination? In a world where reality and fiction blur like static on a screen, Yu Menglong has become more than an actor. He's a symbol of mystery, rebellion, and the fight to remember. Because maybe the truth isn't hidden. Maybe it's just been rewritten. And maybe, somewhere out there, he's still watching the story unfold. The echo after the fall. The first night after the reports broke, the city didn't sleep. Shanghai's skyline glowed with an unnatural stillness, every window reflecting the same question pulsing through the nation's veins: how could someone like him just vanish? By dawn, the streets outside the hotel were fenced off. Yet people came anyway, silent crowds gathering beneath the faint morning drizzle. They left white chrysanthemums, candles, handwritten notes that simply said, "Wake up soon." Someone started playing his song from an old drama through a portable speaker. Others joined in, until the street became a trembling choir of grief and disbelief. Cameras flashed. Drones hovered. And for the first time, the police began asking people to delete what they filmed. The internet kept refreshing itself into hysteria. Every 5 minutes, a new exclusive clip appeared: shaky elevator footage, a mysterious silhouette, a faint reflection in a mirror that someone swore looked like you turning away from the lens. But one clip stood out. It showed the hotel hallway at 2:40 a.m. The door to his suite opened halfway, then froze. From the darkness inside, a figure's shadow moved, tall, deliberate, unhurried. The door shut. 3 minutes later, the alarms went off. Within an hour, the video vanished. Only one phrase remained in reposted captions. Someone was inside before he fell. The fever online. By the second day, news outlets began distancing themselves. Major networks replaced their coverage with cooking shows and talent competitions. But the silence only deepened the frenzy. Anonymous accounts leaked what they claimed were screenshot fragments of private chats between industry insiders, cryptic exchanges about unfinished contracts, a tape, and something they called the garden. No one knew what the garden meant, but fans built theories around it: an underground group, a code name for a secret film, or a safe house where banned artists once hid. Memes, threads, and entire websites appeared overnight, each more unhinged than the last. At the center of it all was Yu Menglong's final message. "If I disappear, don't stay silent." Every user interpreted it differently. Some took it as a warning. Others, a farewell. But one comment rose to the top with thousands of likes. "He never said die. He said disappear." And that single word, disappear, lit a fire that refused to burn out. The ghost in the feed. 3 nights later, at exactly 3:17 a.m., a fan page noticed something strange. Yu's official Weibo account, long dormant, suddenly liked an old post, a photo from 2018 showing him smiling under a cherry tree. No one believed it at first. People accused the fan page of editing screenshots. But then it happened again. Another like. Another post, this time one that had been deleted years earlier but somehow reappeared with a single caption added beneath it. "The petals fall, but the roots remember." It was poetic, haunting, and undeniably in his tone. Thousands swore it was a hacker, or maybe an automated system glitch. But to the fans who had stayed up night after night, waiting for a sign, it was something else, a digital heartbeat. Proof that his presence hadn't faded completely. Soon, #TheRootsRemember began trending worldwide. Artists drew digital portraits of him surrounded by falling petals. Musicians remixed his old lines into electronic requiems. And across Asia, candlelight vigils turned into viral live streams where fans whispered into cameras, "We hear you." The journalist's file. On the 7th day, a young online journalist named Shuelin uploaded a cryptic blog post titled "The Missing Hours." It contained no photos, no names, just fragments of sentences that looked like diary notes. 3 rooms rented under false identities. 2 security guards replaced mid-shift. Call log erased, timestamp remains. Within minutes, the post went viral, and just as quickly, it vanished. Her account disappeared. When followers tried to message her, they received a pop-up: "This user no longer exists." But a cached version of her final sentence survived. The story they erased is still writing itself. It became the tagline of every underground video and conspiracy edit that followed. The footage that shouldn't exist. 2 weeks later, a mysterious USB drive arrived at an independent news studio in Seoul. The sender left no return address, only a single label that read, "Play it at midnight." Inside was a 30-second clip showing a hotel rooftop, filmed from an opposite tower. The date stamp matched the night of the incident. The footage showed 2 figures arguing near the terrace railing, one matching Yu's build, the other taller, wearing a long coat. The argument escalated. One figure raised a hand, the camera jolted, and the clip ended in static. Experts couldn't verify it. Some said it was deepfake technology. Others said it was real. But before any analysis could finish, the studio's servers crashed. The clip was gone. The only file that remained in their backup system was a single still frame, a blurred silhouette against the city lights, frozen mid-motion, as if forever trapped between falling and flying. The collective dream. By the 3rd week, the digital storm had transformed into something almost spiritual. Online communities began hosting synchronized listening nights, moments of silence at 2:43 a.m. every Saturday, the time when the first rumor appeared. During those moments, feeds would fill with one sentence typed in unison. "We are still not silent." It wasn't just mourning anymore. It was rebellion against censorship, control, and the erasure of memory. Fan artists painted murals of him as a winged figure breaking through screens of static. Writers turned the saga into poems, films, and VR experiences. What began as shock had evolved into legend, a story no algorithm could fully erase. The last transmission. A month later, a voice recording appeared on an encrypted forum. This time, the sound was clear, unedited. The voice was calm, deliberate, unmistakably familiar. You keep searching for the truth. But what if the truth is the search itself? Stop looking at the fall. Look at what came before. The clip ended with a faint sound, like the rustle of paper, followed by the words, "It's all still happening." Then silence. The forum went offline hours later. But the phrase spread like wildfire. "It's all still happening." People began printing it on posters, carving it into benches, whispering it like a code. The endless question. To this day, no one agrees on what really happened. Officials still call it an accident. The studio insists on privacy. But online, the myth continues, growing, reshaping, defying deletion. Every few months, a new clip appears, a new shadow, a new whisper. Each one feels both closer and farther from the truth. And yet, the question never changes. It drifts through every thread, every candlelit vigil, every half-deleted post that dares to ask aloud. Was it really an accident, or was the story rewritten? Because somewhere, between the silence and the static, the legend of Yu Menglong refuses to end. And as long as the world keeps refreshing the page, the mystery stays alive, a ghost made of pixels, memory, and light.